Hey, what's going on, sports fans? TJ Jones here. Welcome to another edition of the State of the NFL podcast, talking about some of the hottest topics in all of the National Football League. And we are live. Second half, Detroit Lions versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Detroit Lions have a 14-3 lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they pretty much dominated the first half. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a lot of work that they have to do in order to get themselves back into this game, but it can start on this drive. I mean, get yourself some points to end the half. There was an interception that was made by Jamel Dean. They were able to get a few yards to set up a McLaughlin field goal to add some points. And now they're coming out and they got to make sure that they try to get into this end zone. If they don't, I mean, they still need to put some points on the board. Only one time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to cross into Lions territory. So as we see Rashad White fighting for as many yards as he can, he got about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Thank you to everybody that's watching this right now. Got 118 people watching it. Ask that you hit the like button. No matter what platform that you're watching this, it helps the channel to grow. All right, 2nd and 7. 14 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We just kicked off, and now we have the Detroit Lions defense decimated with injuries in the secondary, but very formidable tonight. Baker Mayfield and the offense have yet to do anything of any significance. All right, so here we go. And you get the snap off. Here's a play action by Baker. He throws the ball downfield, and that pass is caught by Bucs. So there's a first down right there. So definitely want to make sure that you hook up with your best receiver that you have right now. Now that Mike Evans is still dealing with a hamstring injury. So see a little bit of a crosser right there and really good hands. And look, this is how you're going to get yourself back into the game, by connecting with your best receiver. But credit to the Lions. I mean, they're opportunistic defensively, forcing turnovers, but Tampa has got to get going here. Okay, so here we go. 1st and 10, Cade in motion. Here's the handoff for Rashad White. He gets up the field, gets about 6 or 7 yards. Really good run right there. That's going to bring up 2nd down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are driving. Really good pass from Baker Mayfield to Bucs. Couple decent runs by Rashad White, keeping the defense honest. So this is how they're going to have to get back into the game. And Detroit, they dominated the first half. You would have thought that they would have had more points. But right now, they're just giving Tampa hope. All right, so on a 2nd and 3, we look at Baker Mayfield under center. And he making adjustments at the line. Here he goes, play action, looking. And he resets and throws the ball downfield. And that pass is incomplete, a little bit short to Bucs. He got behind the defense, but Baker Mayfield just threw it short. He got the touchdown. If he would have put a little bit more air under that football, then you probably would have got yourself a touchdown. You had a double move by Bucs, a little late on the pass. Just hits the defender in the back of the head. I mean, so that was not pass interference. All right, so Robinson on the 3rd and 3. Here we go, pressure. Throws. That pass is caught by Sterling Shepard. So Sterling Shepard is able to move the chains on a 3rd and 3, keep this drive alive. So really good drive so far by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're thinking touchdown, and they have an opportunity. So both teams are trying to make adjustments. Both teams are trying to fight and battle. They know what this game means. 2 of the best teams in the NFC could be talking about home field advantage later on in the year. All right, so 1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker under center, hands the ball off to Rashad White. He gets past the line of scrimmage, but he gets about 1 or 2 yards on the play. They're saying that it's a fumble, and you have Barnes who comes out of the pile with the ball, and he's saying that it was a fumble. And let's take a look. All right, so here we go. And that ball was ripped out. So the question is, was he down by contact? I guess he was. All right, on 2nd and 9, that should be a false start. So a false start on the offense, that's going to be a 5-yard penalty there. So you have to ask the question. So they probably whistled the play dead. They're fighting for extra yards. And all right, so here we go. Todd Bowles looking at his offense on the 2nd and 14. Baker Mayfield in the gun. Tez Johnson in motion. Here we go. Throws it to him. That pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So Derek Barnes, who was responsible for a could-be forced fumble, and making up for it again with a pass deflection. That's what you want to do if you're a defender. You know, sometimes you won't be able to get to the quarterback. Just put those arms up in the air. You never know what can happen. You know, just time your jump, and good things can happen like that. Here we team for the Detroit Lions, proud and full throat here. They understand that you have to get Baker Mayfield and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense off the field. Tez Johnson in motion, moving from right to left. Got little trips in the backfield. Here we go. Baker Mayfield tries to step up, throws it. That pass is caught to Tez Johnson, tries to make somebody miss, and about a few yards short of the first down. Almost had it if he would have stayed on his feet. Tampa Bay, they're probably looking at going for this on a 4th and 2. All right, so here we go. Tampa Bay understands, like, this is the type of game where you have to be risque. You have to go out here and take risk if you're going to knock off a really good team in the Detroit Lions and get yourself back into this game. So let's see what they have here on a 4th and 2. All right, so here we go. Here's the handout to Rachaad White. He gets behind the center and guard, and that is enough for a first down. So Rachaad White is able to get behind the center and guard in order to barrel forward for the first down. That was a 3rd and 12, and they were able to get some decent yards on 3rd down to set up that 4th and 2. So here we go. Nice methodical drive here by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully they can get 6 points. They're hoping. All right, so here we go. Play action. Baker looking. Plenty of time. Comes in and Sean Tucker gets up the field past the line of scrimmage, but gets about 2 yards on the play. So a gang of tacklers for the defense of the Lions able to corral them. As we see, Emeka Egbuka enters the game yet again. This is a 2nd and 8. Baker Mayfield trying to get 6 points, trying to get his team into the end zone. Very impressive drive so far, but it means absolutely nothing if you cannot get into the end zone. 2nd and 8. Here we go. Sean Tucker in motion. Tez Johnson out, and he throws it over the head. Here we go. Jumps over a defender. 10 to the 5. Spins, and then Tez Johnson is in for the touchdown. So Tez Johnson doing it on his own, but credit to the blocking upfield. 22-yard receiving touchdown by Tez Johnson. But that doesn't happen if these tight ends and wide receivers are not blocking up the field. So throws it over the head of Aiden Hutchinson, able to jump over the defender. You have blockers downfield and pretty much takes it. Man, they're going for 2 right here. All right, so Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going for 2. Rachaad White in motion, goes to the backfield with Baker. Shifts out Sterling Shepard. Here we go. Looking. Baker throws, and that pass is tipped and knocked away. And Nick Whiteside with a really good play right there. Shouts out to him. So really good defense in the red zone by the Detroit Lions. Tez Johnson, man, making plays. So the Detroit Lions trying to get back out there. All right, special shout out to everybody here. Want to give a special shout out to you back as I get back on camera. Appreciate everybody for being here, man. Actually, hit the like button if you just tuned in. We're watching the Tampa Bay Detroit Lions Monday Night Football matchup. Right now, the Detroit Lions, who dominated the first half, are holding on to a 14-9 lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Tampa comes out of the locker room, puts together a really good drive with a 22-yard touchdown by Ted Johnson. They go for two, and it deflected by Whiteside, the second, the cornerback. So right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are within striking distance, but they have to come out here defensively to neutralize the Detroit Lions. Lions defense and offense are dogs, TJ. I hope they're going to make the playoffs for real, for real. I don't care what the people say. They're going to make it. Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. They're one of the best teams in the league. Ted Johnson will be getting those MVP chance for him soon. Yeah, Ted Johnson is a good player, man. I think what happened was, I mean, he had like one of the worst combines I've ever seen. Like he was, I don't know what the heck was going on. Like he just had a real bad combine. I don't know if he was just nervous or what. And I think that was the reason why his stock dropped. But you know, going into like the Senior Bowl and stuff like that, I mean, Ted Johnson was on every list as far as like being a top receiver, but he just had a bad combine and it caused his draft stock to drop. But everybody know how dynamic he is if you watched him in college. It's good that he's getting on the right track, and I feel like he's on the right team to be able to utilize his strengths. Mike Evans got hurt tonight, TJ. Okay, well, yeah, he's still dealing with that hamstring injury. Probably came back a little bit too prematurely. I didn't know if he was playing tonight or not. I kind of caught the game like early through the second quarter. TJ, I'm a Who Dat for life, but look at the dogs Tampa got on this team compared to the Saints quiet bull. Yep. Says your video lagging. Well, I apologize, man. I apologize. My video is lagging. Let me see if I can actually change that. Let me see if I can change that for a second. All right, so we're taking a look at Ted Johnson. Man said, man, F the Yucks. Can't get mad, Jerry. They're a good football team right now. As we take a look at Jahmyr Gibbs, gets up the field, and so a really good run right there by Jahmyr Gibbs. And right now, 30 left in the third quarter. I said making some plays tonight, 3 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. So he's starting to come on, man. This is a young team, man. You think about the next wave of talented wide receivers that they have as guys like Sterling Shepard and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans slowly start to, wrap up their career. You got now Emeka Buka and Tez Johnson. All right, here we go. Here's the throw right here. That pass is caught, and Sam Laporta tries to get up the field, but really good tackling right there. So Tampa right there on the spot is going to set up a third down. Said I thought Mike Evans got knocked out. I had to take a look, man. Let me go ahead and take a look at what happened to Mike Evans. But like I said, man, I was at flag football practice, and it ran a little long. So I honestly looked at the score, looked at the stats. So let's see what happened with Mike Evans here. All right, so here we go. Play action, throws it up top, and that pass is caught. So that's right there. All right, so taking a look at Mike Evans, man, I hate to see that. Yeah, and he is out like a light, man. My goodness. I didn't see that. Hate to see that kind of stuff. Yeah, he was I don't know if anybody saw this, but let me go ahead and pull it up here. And so man. So and we take a look at Jahmyr Gibbs getting up the field. Man, you hate to see that. Yeah, man. Unfortunate for Mike Evans. And so he got knocked out of the game. Okay, so yeah, man. I thought maybe it was a hamstring issue again. All right, so really good lane right there. I mean, man, credit to this offensive lineman, man. Open up these huge holes for guys like Jahmyr Gibbs to run through. I mean, he's just having a monster night. I mean, this guy is incredible. Like he is incredible, man. All right, so anyway, first and 10, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown in motion. Here's the handoff. They get Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's able to get past the first wave of defenders. But, you know, he gets past the line of scrimmage, gets about 3 or 4 yards on the play. So a little bit of an over pursuit right there by the defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I understand the frustration. I mean, this guy's running wild all night long. I mean, you look at his stats tonight, 130 rushing yards, 54 receiving yards, 184 yards total, and it's still in the third quarter. So in the way that this game is going, you're still going to be relying on a guy like Gibbs to try to wrap this thing up. You're going to try to win if you're Detroit. Second and 7 for the Detroit Lions. You got Jared Goff on the center. Sam Laporta goes in motion, and they check it down to Jahmyr Gibbs. He got a blocker out in front. He goes, and he cuts up the middle. This is going to be, ooh, man. Man, that should have been a touchdown. That should have been a touchdown. I don't know what happened with the offensive lineman, but he completely ran past. I mean, like, man, if you had Penei Sewell was out there in motion. If he blocks, I mean, he just whips on Winfield. Like that should have been a walk-in touchdown. So the big man gets out there, but man, that should have been a touchdown. He should have been able to waltz into the end zone. Well, here you go. Here's a carry by Jahmyr Gibbs. He spins out and into the end zone. What a run. Touchdown, Detroit. I mean, just everything that you want to see by a running back, the balance, the spin move. I mean, getting out of there. There's not a lot of running backs that's going to be able to make moves like this. Jahmyr Gibbs putting on an absolute show tonight in front of a primetime audience. He knows he's on TV. I mean, you look at this run right here, man. So really good blocks right there. He decides to run to the inside, spins off, and McCollum is like, man, what the heck, man? Oh, my goodness. Spins off him into the end zone for the touchdown. And, man, no answer for Jahmyr Gibbs tonight. Bates' kick is up, and that is good. So 21-9. And Penei Sewell is upset because he feels like, man, maybe that run shouldn't even happen. We should have had him. Slapped him across the head. All right, so here we go. It's a spin-off. Man, my goodness. Man, he ain't seen a spin-off like that since Frazier. 21-9, Detroit Lions. TJ, your video keeps pausing, going in and out. I don't understand why I'm breaking up. I don't know, man. Let me go ahead and refresh this thing. Let me go ahead and refresh. All right, so I'm back. Let me see. Let me make sure that I'm not buffering again. I apologize, man, if I am. I'm actually looking at myself on the phone, man. So y'all just let me know. Try to do a little bit of a refresher. Y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me, if I'm breaking up still. I apologize, man. That just happens sometime, man, with these internet connections. Let me see. Sometimes like you can, I mean, I got that low resolution. You certainly look better after the refresh. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. So let's see. Thanks, TJ. I can hear you. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And thank y'all for that. I always tell people I got some of the best producers in the world, man. The great people that are nice enough to tell me what the heck going on with my stream. Like TJ said, if you are watching a game and are ahead, please no early spoilers. I apologize, man. I only can go by what's my TV out here in Myrtle Beach doing. I'm sorry. Like, I know some people like, man, you a couple plays behind. Like, I only can go by what only thing I could ask you to do is be kind and rewind. Let's see. Here you just find your video doing good, no buffering. Okay, good. Just did a little bit of a refresher. But if you're just joining us, Jahmyr Gibbs just ran it in for a short touchdown in the red zone to put the Detroit Lions up 21-9. But coming out of the locker room, Tampa Bay was able to get some points on the board as we look at Johnson trying to get around the corner. And that's really good special teams coverage right there by the special teams unit of the Detroit Lions. And this has been an exciting game, man. These two teams, I mean, this is not going to be see each other. I can guarantee you that. All right, so a lot of these passes, you know, they're throwing these little short passes, little dump offs to Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, not allowing the pressure to get the best of Jared Goff in the pocket. He's getting the ball out quick, and you look at these offensive linemen just creating like open lanes for Jahmyr Gibbs to run through, and all he needs is a little bit of daylight, as we seen on this last touchdown. I mean, he's going to hit his head on the goalpost. So 1st and 10, Baker Mayfield on the center, tries to do a play action, rolls to his right, and that pass is, but right there is Robinson. So right there, man, not much. As soon as Rachaad White caught the ball, Robinson is right there to bring him down. So 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 21-9 Detroit. They're playing in Ford Field. Detroit Lions have made that a tough place to play. A very tough place to play. All right, so here we go. 2nd and 9 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got Baker in the gun, Rachaad White in the backfield with them, calling out his protections, audibles, and you got about 4 seconds left. They got to snap this ball, and they do. And a delayed handoff to Rachaad White. He gets the lane and is able to get a few yards on the play. It could have been more yards, but credit to the linebackers able to just kind of close that lane in real quickly. All right, so here we go. 3rd down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3rd and 3. You got to be able to convert here. You got to be able to convert here on 3rd down. You do not want to get the ball back to Detroit where they were able to just go down the field so easily versus your defense. So here we go. 3rd and 3 for the Detroit Lions. 3:10 remaining in the third quarter. Baker Mayfield in the gun. You got Chaz Johnson in motion. They decide he tries to roll, throws it down the field, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Emeka Egbuka, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Baker had him, man, but it would have been a very tough throw to be able to get it over the defender and drop it into the bucket of Emeka Egbuka. He was open. All right, so here we go. We see a little bit of an out route, and he's just not there. He turns around, and he turns around just a tad bit late. Never is able to track the ball, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to punt. Riley Dixon out here for the punt. Khalif Redmond is the return man. So here we go. A good punt right here, and it angles towards the sidelines, and Raymond basically catches it. It goes out of bounds immediately, but there's a flag on a play. You got to believe that it's going to be on a return team. Most special teams plays are, as we learn here on the show. So you're seeing us limping off the field. That's not what you want to see. Look like he's probably cramping up just a tad bit. So you don't want to see that. They're already decimated in the secondary, so you don't want to see anybody else go down. All right, so here we go. Here's a flag on the play, and let's see what this flag is all about. So let's see what's going on here. Very long discussion. All right, so 5-yard penalty on Tampa Bay. Guy goes out of bounds, comes back, and doesn't establish himself yet again. So that's a 5-yard penalty. So able to get 5 more yards on the play. So Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions offense back on the field again, trying to add to this lead. TJ, Kellen Moore has definitely proved himself as a top offensive mind. Look at the Eagles without him. Yeah, I mean, Kellen Moore is a very smart offensive guy. I just think that he's one of those coaches. He can do some things with limited talent, but he can really like the next level when you put some pieces around him offensively to be able to work with. And right now, as New Orleans Saints don't really have too many pieces that really complement each other where he can just really cook it up and scheme it up. See, you're good on the audio video, though, TJ. Lions versus Bucs is a real slobber knocker match with cage match at Ford Stadium front of Lions Bucs fan, just like WWE 2K25. Yeah, man. I mean, look, this is a good game. Two of the best teams in NFC, no doubt about it. Say, TJ, why Jerry blocked me? I'm really getting tired of that guy. Jerry, did you block Hello, man? Did you block this man? Come on, man. Like we can't do this just because guys like root for their team, man. We can't do that, man. We can't block guys because we don't like what they talking about because they root for somebody else, man. Come on. We can't do. All right, we can't do that, man. Somebody being like mad disrespectful or something like that, I can understand that. But somebody like talking noise about the Saints because they ain't looking good and maybe their team looking better, like we can't be like that, man. Can't be like that. All right. We got to be gracious in victory and defeat. All right. So anyway, um, all right. So let's see what's going on here, man. Who will win a podcast contest between the state of the Saints and the state of NFL? Well, since it's hosted by the same person, I think that it will be a tie. All right. So anyway, Jared Goff looking has all day, all night, rolls out of pocket and just slings that thing out of bounds. So really good pressure right there by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. So let's see what's going on here, man. Let's see what's happening. See, he really needs to learn how to be in the dough, man. Come on, man. Look, at the end of the day, man, look, we can't just block just because we don't agree with him. Let's not do that, man. Like we can't do that. Let's see. Sewell is a weapon as an old lineman in the yeah, I mean one of the best right tackle, if not the best right tackle in football. Like one of the absolute best, man. All right, so here we go. 3rd and 8. Throws it, quick pass, and that pass is caught. And they're probably going to give him the first down because, yeah, I think that's a first down. Yeah, so really good quick pass right there. Jared Goff to Sam Laporta. See, I hear you're fine. Your video is doing good. No buffering. Not anything like that. All right, so here we go. A minute and 27 seconds. Here's the handoff. This is the David Montgomery. He's been relatively quiet. I guess when you got the hot hand with Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to have him in spurts. So, I mean, we know that this is a really good 1-2 punch between Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And you ain't. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the play action. Throws. That pass is caught. That's the Laporta. Really good tackle right there by McCollum, getting him down right before he's. That was a really good tackle right there. I mean, 30, 40 pounds to send Laporta. So he's able to get the big man on the ground. And you're probably going to have one more snap for the end of the third quarter because the play clock is ticking down and it's going to before the game clock. So here we go, 3rd and 2. And regardless, I think this is going to be 4-down territory anyway. All right, so they got to snap this. So this is going to be a delay game, and they snap it. Here's the David Montgomery. He's able to get behind the center and guard, and he fights, still fighting. And I don't think he got it. So decision time for the Detroit Lions. I think we already know what that decision going to be on a 4th and 1. Now, when we come back for the start of the fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure your boy, Dan Campbell, going to have your boys out there trying to go for it. So there's that, man. But thank y'all for being here. Shouts out to each and every one of you here on the State of the NFL podcast or whatever platform you're watching this on. Monday Night Football, Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really good game between two of the NFC's teams. And, both teams are trying to establish themselves. They understand that this could be a really huge game to determine possibly home field advantage, that number 1 seed going on the line. All right, as I get off camera for just a second. TJ, have you listened to Nick Underhill and a podcaster, Trizzy Trace? Those two guys must hate Spencer Rattler because they down Rattler and keep bringing up Tyler Shuck every week. Well, look, I honestly, Trizzy is my guy. He's been on the show before. Got nothing but love and respect for him. Nick Underhill works really hard. Like we had some words or whatever like that, or in the past, but I mean he works extremely hard. That's just their opinion, man. I can't knock them for feeling the way that they do. This is a decision time for the Saints. It has nothing to do with Spencer Rattler, in my opinion. You want to make sure you're making the right decision. Like right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Saints got the 3rd pick in the draft, and you want to make sure that Tyler Shuck is the future of your team. And, you see Spencer Rattler and you see what he can do, but you want to see what Tyler Shuck can do so you can make a better decision and going into next season. Like me personally, I don't think that Spencer Rattler is a terrible quarterback. I think that he's a solid quarterback. I just think that he's one of those guys you have to put a supporting cast around him in order for him to thrive. Maybe the New Orleans Saints want to get another quarterback that can maybe give themselves a little bit more than just some game management type stuff. I don't know. But look, you got to figure it out. And, if the Saints lose these next few games, which a lot of people feel they will, you got to put Tyler Shuck in to see at least what he can actually do, regardless of how, you may feel. Maybe you don't feel like these are right pieces for him, but you're going to have to figure something out, man, because the worst thing that you can do is to take a top 5 pick and get a position. Let's just say you end up getting somebody that probably end up being good, but you still haven't solved your quarterback issue. So, look, you got to be able to do something and figure it out. So I don't think it's a knock on them. I just think that it's just the reality. The Saints are 1-6. All right, so here we go. Hands off it. And whoa! He got that. He got that. Wow. Wow. What an effort. I mean, man, my goodness. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. How did this dude get this first down? Man, my goodness. I mean, that's just effort and grit. Man, what a run. All right, so here we go. Play action. Goff looking, checks it down, gives it off to Raymond. I believe that's who that is. And Khalif Raymond able to get a catch, mostly like a special teams guy. He lip wrestling and lip wrestling with Levante David. All right, so 2nd and 8. That has to be frustrating. I mean, that was the perfect defensive call. That was just an extraordinary effort by Jahmyr Gibbs. A night, over 200 yards of total offense by one individual. They have absolutely no answer for this guy. All right, so anyway, 2nd and 8 as I get back on. All right, so a little trick play right there. Tried to confuse the defense, but nobody was fooled. David Montgomery is able to get about a few yards on the play. So here we go. 3rd. You have got to try to get off the field on 3rd down. And this has been the Achilles heel throughout the night for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got to find a way to get these guys off the field. Every conversion 3rd down means that it's going to be more and more difficult for you to get back into this game. So 3rd and 6, Jared Goff in the gun. Send Khalif Raymond in motion. Here we go. They bring the blitz. Quick pass. That pass is incomplete. So that's going to be 4th and 6. And the punting unit for the Detroit Lions are on their way out on the field. So really good defensive play right there by Ty Bowles and the Tampa Bay defense, able to get pressure. Jared Goff knew that he had to get the ball out of his hands quick, tried to hit Khalif Raymond on the out route, and just was a little short. So here we go, 4th and 6, punt unit out. And nice punt right there, signaling for the fair catch. That pass is caught by Johnson, and that's going to be on the 11-yard line. So the Tampa Bay drive on the 11. On the 11, ladies and gentlemen. Can Baker Mayfield pull off some of that magic where we have seen him do all season long? Scratching, biting, clawing. We know what he's about. We know that he has a lot of moxie and grit. Game is definitely not over. TJ, I tell them I'm a Saints fan first. I'm not with the Rattler versus Shuck thing. We just need to see Shuck because we spent the 40th pick on him. I agree, man. Let's see, TJ, your camera isn't feeling you tonight. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I wish I knew, but I have absolutely no idea what the heck going on. They really should have brought in a veteran quarterback this past offseason instead of hanging on to Haener. And Haener's still on the team. I guess we worry about Mike Evans' son. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate, man. I mean, look, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. Like, I'm serious. I don't care how much of a threat they are. I don't want to see a guy get hurt. I never sit up there like, man, get hurt. Like, I mean, he's a talented guy. Like, just imagine, like, if he was the wide receiver on your team, like, would you want him to be hurt? No. So I hate that, man. I hate that for that guy. Let's see. Golf letting him hang in there. Yeah, I mean, look, that was a quick pass right there. I mean, look, Jared Goff has seen everything under the sun. I mean, he has seen so many things. I mean, it's just pretty knows all the different defenses. Nobody can really fool him, but he tried to get the ball out quick. He threw it low enough, for his receiver to make a play. But if it throws at his feet and it goes incomplete, it's no harm, no foul. It's better than causing a turnover. So let's see what we got going on here. All right, I'm still here. It is now 1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here's the snap. Looking. That pass is caught by Cade Otton for a first down. So really good pass right there by Baker Mayfield to Cade Otton. All right, so here we go. 1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here we go. Play action. Baker looking, throws the ball down the field and over the head of Emeka Egbuka. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10. All right, so Baker Mayfield throws. That pass is caught to Emeka Egbuka. He gets tackled right away, but he gets about 7 or 8 yards on the play. So he's going to set up a very good third down, third and very manageable. All right, so here we go. 3rd and 4 for Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker in the gun. There's a flag on the play. Pass. Thrown incomplete. And there's a flag on the play. So let's see what this is on. Let's see who this is on. So it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be an illegal shift based on like what I just saw. Yep, illegal shift. No, I don't think it was tipped. So they're going for it on 4th down. All right, so here we go. 4th and 4. Baker in the gun. Here's the snap. Looking, and he fights, and that pass is. I think he got it. Let's see. Did the knee hit the ground before he was able to extend the ball? Let's see what's going on here. So Alex Anzalone, and the knee goes down there. That's going to be short. He's going to be short. You got to challenge that if you're Dan Campbell. And I think Dan Campbell is probably going to challenge this. There. He's short of the line of game. You got to challenge this if you're Dan Campbell. Challenge the ball. Like, challenge the play. Are you not going to challenge this? Thank you. I say challenge the play. I'm like, what are you doing? That flag should have, man. That flag would have been out my pocket. That flag would have been out my. Yeah, yeah, he's short. That's the knee. Yeah, he's about he's a in short. But I think that Alex Anzalone got him down on the ground. Yeah, he's a real ish. I don't know. I already read that. I don't know who we talking about. They really should have bought in a veteran quarterback. I think I read that already too. Let me see. Strolling down a little bit. Says he got it, but how fumbled. Ralph's got mental problem. I wouldn't challenge this up by 12 this late in the game, and the Bucs are probably going to. Well, no, I mean it's 4th down. I mean, so if he's short, then it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. So I mean, I think it's a smart decision. I mean, we talking about this is the game right here. I mean, at best, like okay, let's just say you don't score, you get yourself 3 points. I mean, you in plus territory right here. So I think it's a smart decision. I mean, it's worth a shot. Worth a shot. So yeah, he's short. What? He's short. The knee is down. Before like he extended the ball when he fell to the ground, the ball came out, but his knee is down. That's a 1st down. Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, he was short. It's Detroit Lions. I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing? Shout out to my boy Matt Moscona. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about, man. Come on. Like him falling on the ground and fumbling is irrelevant. There it is right there. Knee down, short. Period. That's it. End of story. I mean, he's short. Man, Baker, you've been balling, bro, but come on, man. I get it. I get it. That should have been a challenge. That should have been a challenge the entire time. Hey TJ, what's going on, Chantel? Thank you for being here. How was the Saints game? Brutal. Playoff type game. Yeah, I agree with that. As Aloni, what do you know a former Saint? making plays too. I mean, he can sit up there and complain if he want to, man. Look, I like Ty Wolves. He's a good coach, but come on, man. Like, clearly this dude was like they didn't even accommodate for that. They didn't even accommodate for it. Like, you could clearly see that his knee was down. Like, you clearly can see that he was short of the line of game. I mean, he tried. You know, if he was 6'6" instead of 6'5", he probably would have the first down. But here we go, 1st and 10. Here's a quick handoff to Jahmyr Gibbs. He goes and gets absolutely pancaked by the big man Via Vea. Remaining in the fourth quarter. Said I've been enjoying other games than my Saints. Yeah, it be like that sometimes. Be Creole, why would you say something like that, bro? Azalone was one of my favorite players. Not that, but come on, man. He got it, but how is that a fumble? He didn't get that. Yeah, he didn't get that. When I seen like his knee hit the ground, I'm like, yeah, he was short. Them talking about like him fumbling the football, like yeah, y'all trying to get the holy roller going, but let's see. F this game in my head. Weak, inconsistent rules by the NFL and the refs. Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I thought he was down by contact. Who does the Saints play Sunday? They played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They played the Bucs this weekend. Man, y'all boys been doing some some heavyweight blocking. God, dog. Yeah, y'all ain't playing with them. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm like, God, dog, man. I'm gonna take your word for it, man. God, dog. All right, seem like check. Did I lose the chat. I don't see none of the comments anymore. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Hold on. I gotta refresh this. Jared Goff is not a scrambler, ladies and gentlemen. He is not. I repeat, is not a scrambler. All right, so here we go, man. 3rd and 10 for the Detroit Lions here as they try to get as much time off the clock as possible. Tampa is trying to force this 3 and out here. 3rd and 10. All right, so here we go. And here's the snap. Looking, steps up in the pocket, throws, and that is incomplete. So really good coverage right there by Smith. Now it's decision time for the Detroit Lions here, and let's see what they're going to do. So they're going to bring Bates back out there. I don't know, man. I mean, Jameson Williams, I don't know, man. He should have put a little bit more oomph on this. But here we go. A 58-yard field goal by Bates. Dan Campbell believes in his kicker. He misses a 54-yarder. Now he's out there for a 58. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Yeah, and it is boinked, doinked, and good. Bank shot, Tim Duncan style. And Bates is like, God dog it, man. I made it, but God dog. Dan Campbell was like, you got to be kidding me. But hey. And Baker is like, what the heck happened? So here we go. Doink and in. Oh, yeah, that's good. Good. And he's like, man, whoo. Dan Campbell like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like points. But he did not. And he knows. Like, God dog him. I mean, bank shot. Bank shot. I mean, but to Bates' credit, in his defense, that was okay. That's a long field goal, 58 yards. I know kickers are making it from 60 like it ain't nothing, like Brandon Aubrey for the Cowboys, but that is a tough kick, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very, very tough kick to make. But you only got one job. You only got one job. That's the field goal. So Carolina is last in the division. No, they actually second in the division right now, believe it or not, because the Atlanta Falcons lost against the San Francisco 49ers. Man, look at the Carolina Panthers moving up the board. I'll pick Carolina to win the South. They're not winning. They're not gonna win the South. Yeah, I think I had Carolina being second in the division. I had Carolina on being second in the division, Atlanta third, and the Saints last. All right. 10:03 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's time to put the pedal to the metal if you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I'm talking about everything probably 4-down territory. 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield in a gun. Here's the snap. Looking, steps up in a pocket, throws, and that pass is incomplete. So Baker Mayfield goes down as pressure starts to the ball. Luckily, that pass wasn't. Atlanta really lost to them 49ers, but 49ers been balling despite injury. I mean, look, man, beat the Rams. They beat the Rams when they was decimated, man. I'm gonna give them boys some credit. Like, that's not an easy out. Like, the 49ers are a good football team. Got a really good coach. 2nd and 10. Baker Mayfield in the gun, backfield, and we got motion. Baker steps up in the pocket. That pass is caught by Cade Otton. Otton leaps forward, gets about 7 or 8 yards on the play. So that's going to set up a 3rd and about 2 or 3rd and 3. So it's going to be a 3rd and 2. So right now, all Mollett is down. He's look like he's grabbing at his hamstring. So yet again, man, the injuries continue with the Detroit Lions secondary. I mean, guys just going down left and right. CMC and the 49ers defense. Uniform and helmet. Yeah, they look good. Look good. I mean, they are like swiping at the ball. They are trying to get that ball on the ground. I mean, you hate to see that, man. Arthur Mollett, like hoping that it's just a cramp, but the way he's walking off gingerly, man, you got to think that the hamstring. So, and then you got Hassan Reddick leaving on the card. You don't want to see that. It's one of the premier pass rushers right there, Hassan Reddick. All right, so true definition of next man up right here. Arthur Mollett walking off gingerly, but off on his own power. Hassan Reddick questionable with a knee and ankle injury. I think you leave it on the card. I think there's no question that you won't be back tonight. All right, so they're going to be down one of their premier pass rushers if Detroit gets the football. So 10 rushes for 35 passes for the Buccaneers. So here we go. Baker hands off the late handoff to Rachaad White. He leans forward and he gets the first down, I believe. He's right at the marker, so we're going to say that's a first down. So Mudo changed for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 9 minutes and seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now they're going to use a little bit of tempo right here and keep this defense on the field. All right, so let's see. Baker looking. Oh, man, he's wide open. And too high, too spicy. He had him, man. He had him. I got to say, man, tonight, Baker Mayfield has been a tad bit off, man. Usually, man, he's making these type of throws and, he's able to kind of keep moving the chains. I mean, he had him. Man, Ted Johnson got some hops, man. He got some hops. Him to be able to jump that high. And Baker, like, man, that was a tough throw. We put it between two defenders, but we've seen Baker do this on several occasions. But he's been kind of off tonight. On a second and 10, Baker moves out the pocket, throws, and that pass is tipped and incomplete, intended for Emeka Egbuka, but there's a flag on the play. And that's going to be on Tampa. So they're going to go for third down. They're not going to give them the 10-yard penalty. So here we go, 3rd and 10 for the Detroit Lions defense and Tampa Bay's offense. They have got to find a way to try to make this thing manageable. Even if you don't get the conversion on third down, if you can get close, because I'm saying everything is fourth down territory right now. So regardless to how you approach this, of course you want to get it past the sticks. But if you can get it a short pass here, maybe make this thing 4th and 5 or 4th and 4, probably be beneficial to your offense and maybe give you a better chance of moving the chains here. So here we go. Here's the snap. Mayfield looking, throws, and that pass is caught by Ted Johnson, goes up. And that is a first down. So really showing the ability of Ted Johnson jumping up in the air. So here we go. Mudo change. 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield. Here's the snap. Looking. Goes to the progression 3-4 times. Rachaad White tries to get up the field. Gets past the line of scrimmage. Gets about 3 or 4 yards on the play. So something is better than nothing. Chantel says I'm ahead of you. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are ahead of me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Let me see. Okay, and there's a ball is out, and it looked like it was picked up by the Detroit Lions on a 2nd and 7. Did the Detroit Lions recover the fumble? Everybody's underneath the pile. Everybody's saying they got it. And they're saying that it's Tampa's ball. So Christian Wirfs is able to get underneath. And I don't know how in God's name. I don't know how you had about 2 or 3 Detroitans buy football and Tristan Wirfs get underneath. So how does that work? Does that mean that okay? So it's 3rd and 5. Okay. All right. So here we go. 3rd and 5, and What's going on here? Okay, so we got a timeout. Says lagging, TJ. Look, man, I apologize, man. That seems like that's just gonna be the name of the game tonight. Seems like that's gonna be the name of the game, folks. Sorry about that. Absolutely no idea what they're going on. I don't know. I don't know why I'm lagging. Let me see. I'll refresh again. So I apologize, folks. It just seemed like it was one of those nights. All right, so we see we got a fumble on the play. A fumble. This is actually a really smart decision, man, Campbell, because what he's doing right now, he's giving his defense a chance to kind of catch their breath and be able to attack the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I doubt if this has anything to do with the line to gain. This is more of a strategy thing. Like you see your defense, guys are probably been out there for quite some time, understanding where you are in the game. You need to get a stop. So I think that this probably has. I don't think he really cares about it. I really feel like he did that to try to get his team, to catch their breath. I really do. I don't think he really wanted anything out of that other than a little bit of a prolonged process to try to get his defense to catch their breath. So did it work is the question. We'll see. TJ, did you hear about Doug Martin, the running back? That is crazy story. Rest in peace. Yeah, Doug Martin, man. Former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, called him the muscle hamster. He came from Boise State. Actually, he was Kellen Moore's teammate. And the ball was hit, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 5. Yeah, man, but Doug Martin, man, he was a former teammate of Kellen Moore. And, of course, he was a really good running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, so rest in peace to Doug Martin, man. I mean, the guy was in his 30s. You hate to see stuff like that, but man, yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's absolutely unfortunate. TJ, did you see the Dolphins game? That team is really bad. Yeah, the Dolphins are terrible. And Mike McDaniel is an awful coach. 4th and 5. But anyway, here's a quick pass right there. That pass is caught by Cade Otton. And that's enough for the first down. So Mudo changed yet again, but time is slowly starting to run out on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. All right, so that's a big first down right there. They playing a little no huddle, and Baker looking, moves, and that pass is caught by Sterling Shepard. He gets about 2 yards on the play, but the clock continues to move. So right now, you got to keep everything in front of you if you are the Detroit Lions, but it's good to see Arthur Mollett in the game. Had that big-time interception off Cade Otton early in the game. Glad to see him back out there. All right, so he's out there along with Robertson. This is not the same secondary that this team had in week 1. Of course, Terrion Arnold's out for the season. All right, so here we go. Here's the snap. Looking, bait, shakes, bakes, and that pass is incomplete over the head of Ted Johnson. Once again, Baker Mayfield, tad bit off tonight, man. I mean, Baker can make that pass in his sleep. I mean, this is a great route. Here we go. You got a crosser route, just goes across the field. I mean, just way too much mustard on that hot dog. I don't know. Maybe it's the chemistry between him and Ted Johnson, still trying to learn one another. But there have been times where Ted Johnson has been wide open and Baker hasn't been able to connect with him. So 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 for Baker Mayfield. Here's the snap. Looking some more. Pass call. Sterling Shepard gets up by Arthur Millette. Excuse me. That's actually Hullett. Not Mullet, but Hullett was able to make that tackle right there. So this brings up 4th down. And I mean, look, man, what a play. So he's all the way back there, just drives on the ball and just has a direct shot, and Sterling Shepard doesn't have a chance. So really good play and really good instincts. 4th and 5, last chance for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they're in the red zone right now. So here we go. Baker Mayfield. Here's the snap. Looking, throws. That is a flag on a play, and let's see what's going on here. They're saying are they going to call pass interference here? Oh, they're going to call pass interference. So let's see was this a legit call or was this calling? All right, so here we go. All right, so yeah. I mean, I agree with it, man. He got beat. You know, that was a little bit of a veteran move. You know, something that's like, something that's not like daring, but yeah, he's able to kind of trip him up just a little bit. That's a veteran move. You see a lot of like veteran cornerbacks do it. All right, so here we go. 1st and 10. Sterling Shepard in motion. Here's the snap by Baker Mayfield. Looking. Ball to somebody. Rolls out of the pocket. Throws. And that pass to that Sterling Shepard again. But he got about a few yards on the play, maybe 1 or 2. So Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, just collapsed the pocket. Baker Mayfield is able to roll to his left. But Aiden Hutchinson has been a disruptor all throughout the night. And Arthur Millette is able to get that tackle. Guy was responsible for keeping the drive alive for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2nd and 8 for Baker and the Tampa Bay Bucs. You see Kate Iden down at the bottom of the screen, highlighted. Baker looking, throws, and the pass is tipped and knocked away, incomplete by Whiteside. What a play. If he didn't knock that ball away, that would have been an easy 6 points. So like I said, I mean, Baker Mayfield, this has not been his best night as a thrower of the football. But that was a really good play right there. I mean, really good instincts right there by Whiteside, able to get the big hand up in the air. This is going to bring up 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, so we got trips down at the bottom of the screen, and it's go time. Baker Mayfield looking. Throws the ball in the air, and it is incomplete. White. Jack Campbell on the put the seatbelt on. And this is the last chance for the Bucs. Trying to get us in. But we know this is where Baker Mayfield lives. This is a guy that is not afraid to take a risk. He is not afraid to put his head forward for a first. All right, so here we go. Last chance for Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds. Get the tap off. And looking. Time. Throws in that pass is incomplete. Intended for Mecca Buka. And what a red zone stand by the Detroit Lions. Makeshift theory. Good enough to keep Baker Mayfield and the wide receivers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in check, and Kevin Shepard, the defensive coordinator, is all fired up. I mean, look, you know where it's going. I mean, and can you blame him? I mean, the number one receiver on your team as of right now, Mecca Buka, yeah, you're going to go for it inside with just 2 coverage plays, man. Unbelievable. But Carolina, it looks like every team in the NFC South going to suffer a loss in week 7. Here's the handoff. This is the David Montgomery. Gets behind the center, right guard. A few yards on the play. First the Falcons, and now the Yellows. Well, I guess you can make your appearance now back on the NFC table, Jerry. Yeah, maybe you can make that. Don't worry, he'll be throwing that ball on Sunday, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, he gonna, yeah. This is that makes people think the NFL is rigged. Yeah, that is true. That is true, man. It always seems like there's always a roughing a passer or some ticky-tack call when a team is driving down the field trying to tie a game or they're trying to win a football game, you know. Anyway, here we go. Here's the handoff to David Montgomery. And he gets past him, gets about 2 or 3 yards on the play. This is going to bring up third down. So now your Tampa, you're going to use it. And here is their second timeout use in the second. There's one remaining. And, you know, you look at Detroit Lions. I mean, this is a team right now playing some really good football. They dropped 2 straight. You know, they dropped 2 straight, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Thought that could have been a coming out party for them. Came up short. Come back out here again, going up against a very game Tampa Buccaneers, and pretty much have kept them in check throughout the night. Baker Mayfield has been a factor. Rashad White, not a factor. Mecca Buka, couple catches, but overall has not been a factor. I wonder if that's Nate Burleson brother or something. That guy looks just like Nate Burleson. So I wonder if his brother like. But anyway, 3rd and 7 for the Detroit Lions. Clock continues to tick. Here's the snap. Quick pass off to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he gets nothing on the play. But, you know, the only thing that they want is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to exhaust all of their timeouts, which they do with about 4:09 left, and the punting unit is going to come on to the field. Said the Aints lost too. Yeah, they definitely lost. Says TJ, you breaking up bad. Yeah, man, my internet is not good tonight. I apologize for that. I apologize for those that's been watching this. I appreciate the love. Yeah, but I don't know what's going on with the internet tonight. I really don't. I do not know. I'm probably gonna have to reset the router or something like that because I don't know what's happening. All right, so here's the and after this punt, I'll just go ahead and refresh again. All right, so here we go. Here's the return by Johnson. Tries to get around the corner, tries to make somebody miss, and the special teams is just right there, man. Nothing. Gets absolutely nothing on it. Taking a look at Brad Holmes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This thing is tripping out. This thing is tripping. Thing got me up here twice. Can y'all still hear me? I don't know what's going on, man. Just try to get through this game with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left. Baker Mayfield in the gun, looking, tries to throw the ball down the field, and that incomplete. Intended for Cade Otten. Somebody say we can hear you. So what I'm gonna do is, man, I'll just go ahead and take myself off the screen here today. I apologize, man. I don't know what's going on with the. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on really. But we'll just go ahead and go off camera. All right. So 2nd and 10 for Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's in the gun. He tries to load and he gets sacked. So Tyrus Wheat on the sack. And that's something that you normally don't see from Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield usually is an escape artist, but it looked like, he's playing his feet, got a little, and he gets tripped up by Wheat. A little trip move right there. A leg. I mean, look, they just out there just doing anything they can to try to get up the field. That was clearly a miscommunication by the wide receivers. All right, so here we go. Here's the snap. 3rd and 21. Baker looking, reloads, throws, incomplete pass. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 21. And Baker yet again takes a hit. I mean, so Baker Mayfield, I mean, I don't know, man. He seems like, he's kind of out of sorts right now. I mean, they are just absolutely dominating. And Michael Jordan, I mean, he just absolutely just got destroyed on that. So, and man, he needs the ice tub, no doubt about that. But 4th and 21 for the Detroit Lions, 49 passing attempts for Baker Mayfield. This is going to be number 50 tonight. So here we go. Here's the snap. Looking, throws, reloads, resets, and that pass is caught, but short of the line of gain by Scotty Miller, tackle, and Detroit. And that's going to do it. And Baker Mayfield looked like he's arguing at the referee. So that leg whip right there, I'm pretty sure Baker is like, man, I got a penalty on that, a roughing penalty or something. But I mean, it was incidental contact, but I don't think it would have made any much of a difference because the way that the defense of Detroit was playing tonight, it pretty much have everybody well in check. So here we go. This game is pretty much over here. All they got to do is basically run out the clock, and the clock continues to tick. Tampa has no way of 21 seconds left in the fourth, and you have to believe that the Detroit Lions are going to go to 5-2, and Tampa is going to go to 5-2. But this is a great advantage for the Detroit Lions. And when it comes to the seeding, so if they end up having the same identical record, this head-to-head could go a long way. But Baker Mayfield has to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out what happened tonight. This is how you beat Baker. You got to stay in his face. Yeah. You got to stay in his face and you got to tackle. Like, you can't allow him to escape outside the pocket. You can't afford to allow him to extend plays. And that's what a lot of teams do, man. They feel like they got him wrapped up, man. You got to get this dude down on the ground. I'm not tired of Penix, be real. Y'all Aints fans tired of from what I'm hearing. Call him Faker Mayfield. I never said you are. You're not the only Falcon fan I know. I just want to see if these Falcon fans going to be showing up tomorrow. That's all I want to know. I promise you, they was waiting like we was at the doctor's office waiting for the doctor. Like that's how they was for the show to start last week. I want to see if the same energy is going to be there. All I seen was rise up this, rise up that on the NFC South Roundtable. I just want to see if they going to show up tomorrow the way that they were talking that noise last week. That's all I say. I just say be consistent. I mean, y'all was deep up in that thing. I just want to see if they're going to be there tomorrow. That's all. I just want to see if they're going to be there tomorrow. That's all I want to know. Say y'all don't get TJ started. I'm good, man. I ain't got nothing against no Falcons, man. For real. Like there ain't no love lost. I mean, but at the end of the day, I just want to see if they're gonna show up. That's all. I just want to see if those fans are going to show up like they did last week when they had the emotional win over Bucs. And because it happens like they have this big inspiring win. They get all excited. They start waving them little flags up in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Then all of a sudden they want to talk about everybody. They want to talk about how your team ain't this, your team ain't yada. And then when they lose and when they gonna win, because they all excited tonight, so nowhere to be found. Let's see, their appearance numbers gonna drop tomorrow, but a few will show up to you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will. They better show up. Because I promise you, man, I am petty. I am petty, bro. Y'all know me. I will go back to the last, look at who was in there that was a Falcon fan and look for them and call them out. I'm going to have a list. Y'all know me, man. Come on. Y'all know what I'm capable of. Y'all know what I do. Y'all know I might end up doing that. I might end up having a list. I might have a list. Yeah, I might end up doing that. Y'all know how like the roll and you call them names. When I call your name, say present or here. I just want to see if they're gonna say present or here. Y'all know I do it. Y'all know I would do it. I'm gonna get on camera. Y'all know I would do it. Y'all know y'all know who the truth at this. Outside of Jerry, who's the next biggest Falcon who can troll Falcon fans better than me? For real. Y'all already know, man. I done gave y'all a many hits. Tell all your friends that the Falcons missed the playoffs again when you need me. You already know. All I said, they better win. They better win. They better win this freaking division. The way they talking. See, I'm not delusional about mine. I know that the New Orleans Saints aren't good. I know that they're not good. I know they're not going nowhere. But they up here talking real spicy. Real spicy. And honestly, we all know they basically one-trick ponies. They got talent. Like, they don't get me wrong. They got talent all over that team. But they go as Bijan Robinson goes. If you shut down Bijan, that's a wrap. If you got horses in a barn to neutralize Bijan, that's a wrap. And that's what teams gonna start doing. Neutralizing Bijan, and they're gonna try to get Michael Penix. They like, okay, man, if Michael Penix can beat us, then I'm okay with that. Which that's the way it should be. It should be that way. It should be that way. Like, you look, the best player on a team should never, ever, like, just be like just dominating your game like this. Like how Jahmyr Gibbs is tonight. Some guys are undeniable. End of the day, like, you got to be able to neutralize the key players. You got to keep an eye on them. And 218 scrimmage yards, 2 touchdowns. So there we go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Detroit Lions 24-9. Fifth straight win on Monday Night Football, longest Detroit streak It's so crazy how much the Detroit Lions just remind me of like those classic New Orleans Saints teams back in the day. Rolling, offensive innovation. When the fans like just all excited and stuff like that, man. I mean, it is something to see, man. I mean, look, you got to be happy for the Detroit Lions. I mean, you look at a city like Detroit. I mean, pretty much a blue collar straps trying to make a life for these families. I mean, I can roll with that, man. I mean, how can you not like want to cheer for a team like the Detroit Lions? Seriously, man. I mean, look, they get out fan. You look at some of these other teams out here, man. You got to be excited about what you're actually seeing from Detroit, man. Nothing but respect for Dan Campbell and his crew. If you are putting in the chat, yeah, man. Look, I appreciate everybody for watching this second half watch along between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Detroit get the victory, move to 5-2. Tampa falls to 5-2, but they're still ahead of the NFC South. But the next game, Tampa will be taking on the New Orleans Saints, and they're probably going to be extremely motivated in the game in the Dome on Sunday. So the Saints are going to have to bring it. And let me just make sure that I see who the Detroit Lions are playing next. Detroit Lions, they moved to 5-2 once again. Yeah, my internet is not cooperating tonight. The next game, the Minnesota Vikings on November the 2nd. So they actually have a bye. Well, yeah, they have a bye week. They have a bye week next week, and then they take on the Minnesota Vikings on November the 2nd. Then they play the Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Giants. So they got some very tough games ahead of them. TJ called Cox, brother, your Wi-Fi tripping, G. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on tonight, man. I don't know what's going on tonight, but hopefully we'll have it under control. It's actually been better. Been better like as of late since I switched over. This is probably like one of the first times I really been having like internet connection issues. But I think it has something to do with StreamYard. Like it has to. But I appreciate you all for being here. Shouts out to everybody that came, watched the watch along. You all so much. I ask that you hit the like button. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. And also check out the State of the Saints podcast, the State of NFL, and also NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Next time, I'll see you down the road.